Guys, it's Davey here, and it's currently day 61. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful day and doing better than yesterday, right? But that being said, today I went back to school, right? And quite honestly, it was far from what I had expected or what I had in mind of how uni will be, right? Because we've seen movies, we've seen TV shows, and I am all pretty positive that we have imagined that uni is like this cool place for, I guess, bad boys or bad kids who run amok, talk to the hotties, have party, and then school is their castle, right? Is their absolutely dreamland. And honestly, that is how I depicted uni to be, right? To be this absolute freedom place where you chat up hotties, well, hotties everywhere, sluts everywhere. It's just an absolutely paradise to be, right? And obviously, from friends, I got told high school isn't the best, right? You're missing out if you haven't been to college. I was like, you know what? I am pretty excited. You guys got me amped up. So let's see what the fuss is about. But obviously, from my own experience right now, well, to be honest, guys, it's only my first day. So I probably only skimmed the surface and I have not barely went past the iceberg yet. So I I no doubt that there's definitely more than I have seen today, but it is what I've seen today that kind of, I guess, disappointed me, right? Not really in a bad way, right? I didn't expect much, but it was just, I guess, the so big of a separation from my expectation and the reality. It just kind of shocked me, right? So I guess the lesson learned, guys, is to never believe that reality will be depicted like expectation or what you see online, because certainly your reality is going to be different from everything else you see online, or how other people depicts their reality is going to be different to yours, right? So always have that in mind. Don't expect everyone to be the same, and don't expect your life to be similar to someone else's, right? So how was my class? How was university for me on the first day? Let me give you guys a picture of what my classroom looks like, or I guess the people I was surrounded by today, right? So the classroom was pretty small, right? Less than 20 people. And I would say half of them are boys and half of them are girls. Very, very nicely separated, right? And here's the thing, out of, let's say, 10 men, right? I was the one in there that looked the best, honestly, looked the best, looked the most taken care of guy. And I am not saying this from narcissistic or being egotistic. It was honestly from my observance, right? I look like the guy who took care of himself the most. So you could imagine, right? Seeing me, not a Chad, but probably a five at best, average bloke in there. So if everyone else is like below me in looks and in physical wise, then you could imagine the people there went the best, right? Went the best to look up to, at least. Let's just say that for us. And the girls there definitely reflected of how the man looked, right? So it wasn't the best pond, right? Let's just say it wasn't the best pond. It was definitely not ideal, right? So did I find anyone there attractive? No. Well, I guess I did. I was pushing it, right? If out of neediness and out of desperation, there was two girls there that I couldn't find myself potentially not together with, but potentially sleeping with, right? Because there's no girls in there that I'll spend the rest of my life with and not cheat. And that is definitely not gonna happen, right? Is there chicks that I would sleep with? Yes. Did I approach them? No. So pretty much to sum my day up, I bitched my approach, right? I bitched my approach because quite honestly, I didn't really find someone that I really, really found attractive. But here's the thing, guys. I didn't find anyone attractive. And the one that I think or thought to myself whether was the best looking in my class, I said to myself, I'll approach her, right? She was the best, a five at the best, right? A five at the best. And I said to myself, I'll approach her, right? That was my goal for my end of the day, to just get her number. And being a 5 out of 10, I still bitched it, guys. I still bitched it. So now thinking about it, if a prettier girl approached me or a prettier girl was placed in my provision, I don't think I would approach her if I didn't approach the 5 out of 10. Maybe I'm wrong. maybe I'll feel something for that beautiful chick and I have that drive and motivation to pursue her because she is someone I actually want to be with. Maybe that's a factor, right? Obviously, that didn't happen today for me, so I could not say for that. But the mere fact is, and what it did happen to me is I didn't approach the girl in my class, right? I said to myself, look, lunchtime, I'm going to ask her out. And when comes lunchtime, I said to myself, look, doing the coursework was pretty fun and I enmeshed myself in the screen doing the coursework. And come on, man, like who the crap gives a shit about coursework, right? So obviously it was just an excuse I gave myself to not approach her, right? So I was like, you know what? That's right. At the end of the day, when the bell goes, I am going to ask for her number. Then what happens? The bell went. I saw her with a friend. I was like, okay, I could wait here in the classroom, which is already pretty empty, to ask her for a number when she's available, or I can wait outside doing laps until she comes out and then just kind of bump into her and look like an absolute stalker, right? So in either case, I ran the scenario in my mind. I was like, you know what? Forget about it. I'll be here tomorrow and she will be here tomorrow. So let's just do it then. So in reality, I just bitched out on the approach, right? It wasn't something I guess I am happy with. Like, sure, if I asked her, then that'll be more fulfilling than not asking her, right? We rather act than live in doubt, right? Obviously, that is the idea, right? We rather risk it than be regretful afterwards, right? And obviously today I was either risking it or regretting it because it wasn't something I lost, but I guess it was more the aspect of I didn't do it when I said I was going to do it. That hurt me more than it benefited me, right? But obviously I had not lost anything, and quite honestly, guys, I there's nothing for me to lose, right? Even if I ask her out and she rejects me, I cannot be lonelier than I am now, right? So there's absolutely nothing I can lose. And that is the mindset you have to go into life if you want to take the first step, right? Is to realize that maybe there is nothing you guys can lose, right? Doing this business, going to the gym, just improving yourself in general. Just know that you can possibly not lose anything by improving yourself because the reality is most likely you are at your worst now. All right, so by improving yourself or just by being better, there's no way you can go back and lose more, right? Maybe you go to the gym and you accidentally break your back, then maybe you'll lose more. But the chances of that is very, very unlikely, right? It's more saying like you go approach this chick and then she thinks you're harassing you and then she gets you locked up. The chances of that are very slim to none, right? So we cannot go off the minority of circumstances, right? And obviously the majority is that, and the majority of the fact is that we won't lose anything by being better, right? So just go into the world with this mindset. And for myself too, I gotta apply the things I say because obviously sometimes I do forget, right? Doubt and fear do get the better of us, like me also, right? But honestly, it is just applying that mindset of there's nothing for you guys to lose. There's nothing I can lose by doing this, by improving myself. It is by saying this to yourself over and over again that maybe one day you'll realize, okay, you know what? I am fearful, I am anxious, but guess what? There's nothing for me to lose. So why not just do it? And honestly, without you realizing it, you will pick up the phone or you'll walk to that chick or you'll pick up the weights and start doing it because unconsciously or subconsciously, you just started doing it. And when you started doing it, when you've done it, you realize it actually isn't that bad. And when you break that cycle, things start becoming easier. What I mean by becoming easier isn't the fact that you won't be scared anymore or you won't be anxious anymore. What is easier is the resistance between you doing it again won't be as high, but then that will be left to you with if you're going to stay dedicated to it or not, right? If you lose track, if you lose momentum, then you're going to build that barrier of resistance again, right? So taking the first step is only the first step, right? It will break that ice. It'll break that ice for you to do the next approach easier. But if you quit after that one approach, then you're back at square one, right? It is obviously consistency is key. I don't have to remind you guys of this, but I do have to remind myself of this because quite honestly, I forget the things I say. And sometimes it is so much easier to just be lazy and to just be complacent and just let your emotions take control over you. So a lot of the times we just don't do it. We just don't do it, even though we know it's the right thing to do, right? Even though we know approaching her may get us the chance to have intimacy or cold calling may have the chance to get us that next deal or lifting the weights may get rid of the belly fat. Even though we know it's the right thing to do, we don't do it because we are so comfortable being complacent. We are so comfortable living just okay, just being mediocre. Because at the end of the day, guys, we can live where we are now. We can be satisfied with our life because so many distractions in the world has almost conquered us, and we are so eager to just succumb to it because the distraction is made in a way to control us and to enslave us to not be our truest self. Because honestly, probably we don't want to be that person at the end of the day. We don't want to be that superior man or superior woman because we are quite okay being average. And that is the trap, guys. Is we find it okay to be average even though we know we can be excellent. Right. So obviously, guys, tomorrow I have my new tactic, right? Obviously, I wasn't really familiar with the campus, right? I thought, quite honestly, that we will have more time to go out and just really have a break, right? But seeing the timetable, we are in class for majority of the day from 9 to 3. We only have 30 minutes of lunch. So my idea again of how uni will be was definitely not the truth, right? I thought we'd have more time freedom, but honestly, it was just really work. It was work, 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 and everyone there is to get a degree, right? Everyone there is to be smart and get a job. So no one's gonna really be fucking around there, right? So obviously I got that part wrong. And I also got the part wrong that we're gonna have more free time for me to do my approach and things, right? So what I thought of is tomorrow, first thing when I get to class, I'm gonna walk around the campus and just go to any random, I guess, sector in the campus and just find any girl by themselves, ideally, right? So we don't have to be too bold asking for some girl's number in front of a whole group of friends, because that certainly didn't happen today, right? Just find a girl by herself or find anyone by themselves and then just kind of befriend them, right? Befriend them, or if it's a woman, ask for her number, and honestly, just start my day off like that. And honestly, I would know that would be an amazing way to start my day because I know at the end of the day, I had done something. I had got out of my comfort zone, and that is what I look for, right? And maybe after that first approach, you never know. You may think like you're on cloud nine and you'll start just asking girls left to right. And that is obviously the intention, right? So I'll see how tomorrow goes. But obviously today I bitched out, unfortunately, but it does not end here, guys. It does not end here because I have a goal to reach. I gotta improve this deficiency in my life. Well, not really a deficiency, it's just an area I can improve in, and I will because who's stopping me, right? So that is exactly what I'm going to do. But that is all I gotta say for today. Hopefully, you guys learned something from this. I know I have just been talking about how my day went, and sadly, I didn't have any good news for you guys today, but I definitely will for tomorrow. So, see you guys then, guys.